At sunset, the air attack was still in full throttle. Tankers dropping retardant to stop the wall of flames.
You could see the flames 3 or 4 miles away, and the wind was blowing 30 miles an hour, and I just saw it coming.
John Kay and his neighbor, along with 300 others, packed up and left home as quickly as they could tonight.
I loaded up the horses and got them out of there, and that was that. Here it is.
Flames burned through the rugged terrain, charring the mountainside. Dry brush, heat, and fast-moving winds kept firefighters guessing where the head of the fire would turn next. They tried stopping it, but flames jumped the 14 freeway. CHP quickly shut down both directions of traffic. Hundreds of drivers stuck for hours.
It looked like smoke everywhere, flames, traffic as far as you can see. Just to go from one exit to another took us 2 hours.
We see the flames coming over the ridge, yeah, everything. I'm frustrated and tired and just want to go to bed.
Frustrations only grew, so did the fire line. But there is good news among the brush fire chaos. No homes or buildings burned, and incredibly, no one was hurt.
Right now, everybody's okay.
Which is what matters.
That's what matters more than anything.
And there is no official word on containment, but firefighters say they've stopped the fire's growth for now. Reporting near Agua Dulce, Rick Montanez, NBC4 News.
There's a big commotion outside Vista Blue Mountain Assisted Living Facility in Grand Terrace.
We love you, Hank!
Girl Scout Troop 76 is here to celebrate a special milestone for this man.
We're celebrating a World War II veteran, Japanese-American, who is turning 100 years old on Sunday.
His name is Toshiro Kanbara, but he likes to be called Hank.
The day that he was drafted to go to serve, his parents were sent to an internment camp.
Family members say Hank could have quit the Army right then, but he didn't because he wanted to serve his country.
He's always been so proud of that. He still remembers his Army number. Can't remember our birthdays, but he remembers his number.
Happy birthday to you.
This was actually supposed to be a much bigger celebration, but because of what's happening right now, it had to be downsized, with Hank keeping a safe distance away. But he's still getting a lot of presents, like these medals made by the Girl Scouts, who have really gotten to know this hero over the past few months.
It's really amazing because he's had a hard life, but he kept pushing through.
Hi, Hank. I'm here on behalf of the city of Grand Terrace.
The mayor of Grand Terrace also recognized that hard journey to 100, which included a Purple Heart for the injuries Hank sustained while fighting in Europe.
He took what he had in front of him and he chose to fight for a country, believing that that country would embrace him ultimately.
I pledge allegiance.
And just by looking at this big commotion, there's no question that this American hero is feeling that embrace.
To have the whole community and all these Girl Scouts do this for him is just overwhelming.
In Grand Terrace, Tony Shin, NBC4 News.
The owners of Blinking Owl like to brag they were purveyors of craft spirits, able to go from grain to glass, making everything in-house. They claim this distillery was the first to open in Santa Ana since Prohibition.
We normally produce vodka, orange vodka, gin, aquavit, a cool spirit, and several whiskeys. And just until a few days, or about a couple weeks ago, that's what our normal lives were.
COVID-19 ended their tasting room sales, which accounted for 90% of their income. Now they are pivoting in a big way. The same equipment used to make alcohol is turning out hand sanitizer. Here's how. Workers dilute a high-strength spirit, then add glycerin so hands don't dry out completely. The final step, hydrogen peroxide, which kills bacteria. The company is using a formula from the World Health Organization.
As soon as we announced we were making hand sanitizer, we got almost 100,000 gallons worth of orders or inquiries.
Compare that to 1,000 bottles of booze, which was the previous weekly output. Some of the product has been donated to local hospitals. The rest is being sold online and to first responders. The city of Santa Ana bought 3,000 bottles for their police department.
I knew there was going to be a shortage on bottles, so we ordered as much as we possibly could. We ordered tons of bottles, tons of grain to start producing.
Blinking Owl has an advantage others might not. Distilleries can buy 80 proof alcohol, which is now part of their bottled product called Dirty Bird. Just remember, they say, it's for cleaning, not drinking. In Santa Ana, Vicky Vargas, NBC4 News.
Thank you, bud. All right. Thank you.
Happy birthday from the Huntington Beach Police.
Grandma was born 100 years today on May 5th. She was born right after the Spanish flu. Right. And she lived through this flu. And it's her attitude, her humor, her spirit, and not asking for too much that has brought her great joy. And the family and friends, and that we still get to see her. She's well, she's being well taken care of. We get to knock on a window and talk to her through the window during the week. We get to talk to her on the phone every day. 100 years ago, there was none of this technology. So we're missing the hugs is what we're missing, but we're not missing the spirit.
I feel wonderful, wonderful. Everybody should reach 100 and feel no worse than I feel. I have 11 great-grandchildren, and all but 2 are here today.
Happy
birthday, Inside her Temecula home, Summer Berg is busy at work. She's a professional seamstress.
Sewing is my life. My grandmother was a seamstress and she taught me how to sew.
Usually Summer is sewing clothing for her business, but lately she's been sewing with a different purpose.
Right now I'm sewing masks to donate to our local hospital and any healthcare workers that are without the masks that they need.
Summer saw a post on social media that there was a desperate need for N95 masks, the ones healthcare workers use for airborne protection from the coronavirus. So while Summer is sewing,
she just gives me instructions and I follow them.
Her friend and neighbor, Christine Massa, is cutting.
This is one way that I think we can contribute. I'm not out on the front lines fighting disease or anything like that, but it's a small contribution that I can do.
Do you need the underneath, the other side? No. Okay.
Just a few blocks away, Heather Pearson is handing out supplies, donated by Joanne Fabrics.
And these are the masks that we need.
Heather is a local nurse. In fact, her whole family is in healthcare.
And so my sister works at another hospital and was telling me that she's been using a bandana and, you know, they're going into, and then I started getting phone calls from nurses at work saying, you know, terrified that to go in because they're being asked to reuse masks and such or not have masks. And some of them have medically fragile people at home.
That's why Heather started this GoFundMe to help raise money for more protective N95 masks. So during this time, Summer is making temporary ones. Heather affectionately calls her Summer the Sewer.
Because, you know, in World War I, we had Rosie the Riveter, and I just love that can-do attitude, and that's what it's all about. It's an optimistic approach of not what we can't do, but what we can do. But this is where the filter goes.
After getting the masks, Heather inserts material that can act as a filter.
It's kind of tacky, and it'll do for now.
As long as there is a need, Summer says she'll keep sewing for the first responders who are sacrificing everything for all of us.
I mean, there's nothing else you can say but thank you. It's an amazing sacrifice.
And it even covers down here. This is
in Temecula, Tony Shen, NBC4 News.
Really just taking it to another level because with the filter in there.
This project started out in our annual briefing with Land Use Services when we talk about defensible space across the county. Somebody in the meeting mentioned, why don't we get goats?
We've lived up here 14 years and we've had a number of fires, some that have come up to our fence line before. When you live up here, you're always concerned about fires, and anything that can mitigate the risk of fires up here is a good thing for the residents.
And that's the beauty about the goats. They're not leaving a lot of cuttings like you do when you use mowers. They've actually turned that into no duff. Right now we have about 250. By the end of the day, we'll have about 350, between 325 and 350. And they'll be working, as you can see behind us, they're going to follow the perimeter down to the main road and up to the other hill. Goats eat about 8%, sometimes 10% of their body weight. And so 200 goats will do a ton, 2,000 pounds of clearing a day. The community is going to embrace these because the community is going to get something for it.
Not only reduces the loss of property, but increases the better air quality, but also it saves money.
These goats are like lawnmowers. You take a look on the hill where they've been, and it's almost down to the dirt, which is a real good thing. Dirt doesn't burn.
We're starting the 5th week of social distancing here in California, and we decided to go out and give you the opportunity to express yourself.
After 5 weeks of social distancing, what's on your mind?
Sammy the dog just wishes that we could all be Americans, not Democrats, not Republicans, just Americans. How about that?
After 5 weeks of social distancing, I want to go out and see friends and go to parks with my dog.
I think we flattened the curve and it's time to reopen and go back to work.
We have to go in, everybody, and stay in for a month at least in order to stop this. Otherwise, it's just going to keep growing.
So like what we all want to know about social distancing is when is it all going to end? And when will we get back to the daily routine of the life? That's honestly all that matters right now, is getting these good Americans back to the way America was. And stay patient. We'll get through this. We always do.
What's on my mind is part of the only way to keep us safe during this time. And it's the reason why I'm still healthy, because I'm abiding by the social distancing. I also think that we all should be wearing masks since no one knows who has the virus, and that way at least we're not spreading it unknowingly. So hang in there, everybody. You can do it.
I had like a lot of things to work through.
Little Sophie is 9 months old and the pride and joy of her mom, Angie.
The day that I checked into rehab, I found out I was pregnant.
Angie says she abandoned her apartment and an abusive relationship, but ended up on the street. She joined the ranks of countless other women, pregnant and homeless. Countless because while the LA County Department of Health believes 5,000 women experience homelessness during their pregnancy every year, the official homeless count doesn't include those stats in their data.
Certainly it's impacting two lives, both the life of the mom and the baby.
Sarah Wilson is the executive director of Harvest Home. The Venice shelter offers 10 of the 70 beds available countywide for homeless pregnant women. Their programs offer services that help make new moms self-sufficient.
They provided therapy, they provided stability. You know, I didn't have to worry about food. I didn't have to sleep in a car anymore. You know, I always had a bathroom.
And Harvest Home is about to do more than double its capacity thanks to the LA Archdiocese, which will announce this weekend at its annual One Life LA event that this former convent in West LA will be Harvest Home's second campus.
I was hopeless when I found out I was pregnant and had nowhere to turn, and this place changed my life.
Angie says the mission here is working. She lives in a subsidized apartment now, but says soon she'll be able to cover the rent entirely on her own.
I'm very close to that.
Harvest Home is a nonprofit, but it is funded entirely by private donations. And they tell us that in the last 30 years, there have been 600 babies born to homeless moms. Reporting in Venice, I'm John Cadiz-Klimack, NBC4 News.
We decided to do this because we love our community, we love our healthcare workers. So many people in this community have been here at a time of need, and we are thankful for the first responders that are on the front lines helping people at their time of need.
You know, it's emotional for everyone. They put their hearts, into the care that they give every day. They come, fearful like we all would. They're all humans. So they come with a sense of fear, but they come with a sense of compassion. And so I know they felt wonderful when they saw the commitment of our community. That second floor is our critical care floor. So those are in fact the nurses that are spending their entire shifts caring for those that have a need.
Just wanted to bring the community together and show spirit and show, happiness, not just all the negative of the COVID-19 that's going on.
The rain didn't stop at all. As a matter of fact, this has been a beautiful day, and we believe that rain is an outpouring of just love and support. And just like rain falls, we wanted to fall and throw a lot of love and support to the doctors and the nurses and the staff here.
We're at the Nixon Presidential Library in Yorba Linda, and today is the first of 4 blood drives in support of our nation's efforts to combat the coronavirus.
I've given blood often, but never in the East Room. This is a privilege.
We had 30 people that are lined up 6 feet apart down the hallway that are ready and willing to give blood. It really is a testament to the American spirit, Americans helping Americans, and we're gonna fight. We're gonna defeat this virus.
This is the first time I've really been out other than to go to the grocery store in about 3 weeks. So I've been staying at home, other than walking around my place.
We've seen a great outpouring of support today from the community because cancer doesn't take a holiday, surgeries don't take holidays, neither does use for accidents or burns or traumas. Even newborn babies can need the gift of donated blood. The only way to get it there is from a volunteer blood donor. And again, we are practicing social distancing guidelines. We're wiping down all the stations of shared spaces. Continually, our staff is taking all precautions to make this a controlled and safe environment as possible for our donors.
Honestly, we just saw it on the news this morning, and then we went to the grocery store and then drove by and saw that it was open, so we came in and filled out the forms, and it was super easy.
It's beautiful, thank goodness. I mean, it's a beautiful place. I've been here before, but it's beautiful. I've never been in this room, but it's a beautiful place. Rich, it's nice.
They also will be hosting us for a blood drive tomorrow, Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and again Wednesday, April the 8th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., all in support of the U.S. Surgeon General and the CDC's call for healthy residents to please continue to donate blood even in the COVID-19 pandemic era.
Well, everybody needs to, right now in these times, everybody needs to not only donate blood, but donate anything they can, and I'm privileged enough and blessed enough to be able to do stuff, so I want to make sure that everybody needs to give.
If you want to sign up, there are still more spots that are open, and we're going to be announcing new dates very soon. And you can go to nixonlibrary.com, and all the information is there.